Have you ever wanted to give up on a super challenging puzzle? I have on this one, but I stuck it out, so stick around to see which techniques worked for me and which ones didn't. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm really excited to be sharing this puzzle video with you. When I took this jigsaw puzzle off the shelf, I knew it was going to be tricky. 1,000 pieces, each landscape, so lots of blues and greens and water and sky. But as an avid puzzler, I was unafraid because I have a whole toolbox of techniques that I use to help me with super tricky puzzles. However, this puzzle ended up being harder than I expected because about half the techniques I normally use did not work on this particular puzzle. But that's okay because it gave me some opportunities to try a lot of new things and a lot of different techniques to help me get this thing over the finish line. In this video, I'm going to show you a time lapse of me solving this puzzle and then stick around to the end to hear what worked and what did not. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for lots more jigsaw puzzle time lapses and puzzling tips and tricks. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, boy, am I glad that's over. Now that this puzzle is complete, let's talk about some of the techniques that worked and some that didn't. Now, I almost always sort by color right out of the gate. And after I did, the technique that worked for me here was picking the smallest piles to deal with first. The white sand was a tiny pile, and the dark rocks were a tiny pile, and I even had like an aqua blue pile for this sea area here. And by doing those sections first, I built up some momentum and confidence and knocked out whole parts of the puzzle without having to deal with all the blue-green craziness. Unfortunately, my normal, this is a super hard puzzle technique that saves me almost every other time, sorting by shape, did not work on this puzzle at all. In fact, I was about 25% of the way through this puzzle until I realized that, oh my goodness, every single piece is the same shape. 2 in, 2 out. For a while, I thought I could maybe tell which pieces were like horizontal and which one were vertical, but I got it wrong so many times, I totally gave up on that. A technique that saved me a ton of times on this one was looking for the details. So say I have a huge pile of green pieces, and then I notice in the picture, there's this tiny little tree trunk, and it even has lighter on one side than the other one. Then instead of trying to deal with all the green pieces, I can just kind of look through them for ones that have like a little bit of tree trunk in it. Also, when I got all the greens isolated, I could kind of see that there was one kind of plant versus the rest of the greens, and then I could just look for that one kind of plant instead of having to deal with all the greens themselves. Another technique that did not work was sorting by shade. Usually in a lot of puzzles, if you've got like some blues, then it'll kind of be a normal gradient from like dark blue to light blue. So I'll take the blues and like sort them into dark and light blues. But on this puzzle, all the darks and the lights were all mixed up. I had dark pieces of sky next to light pieces of sky. I don't even know how that's a thing, but on this puzzle it was. One technique that I never do that actually kept me sane on this one was jumping between parts of the puzzle. Usually I like to just zero in on a section, bang that one out, and then move on to the next. But this puzzle was so hard, and I didn't have my sorting by shape technique at my fingers, that I really would try an area, get frustrated, and then jump over to another one, and then get frustrated with that one, and then jump back to another area. And it just kind of kept me sane and kept things moving for me, so I didn't kind of reach this stalemate state. Now, a technique I almost always use is looking for the hard edges between colors. For example, here, where the mountain is, you've got pieces that are like half dark green and half light blue, and so it's just easy to look for pieces that have both colors in it. Awesome. I thought that was also gonna work with the clouds. Half white, half blue, gonna be fine, right? It didn't work for two reasons. One, the edges between the blues and the whites were actually super soft and blurry, and there's just so much edge that knowing that this happened to be an edge piece didn't actually help me narrow down which edge of which cloud it was. So that one had to be thrown out the window. The last technique that really actually did help me get over the finish line was searching for a specific piece. And I mean specific. So I'd be in a spot and I'd be like, okay, I need a piece that is mostly white but has blue in the upper left-hand corner. And so I would just go to my blue and white pieces and narrow it down to like 5 or 6 pieces that fit that description. Then I just had 5 or 6 pieces to deal with in one spot instead of all the remaining pieces. And there you have it. That was my experience solving this super duper challenging landscape jigsaw puzzle. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you think you have any techniques that could have helped me here, please be sure to drop a line in the comments so I can learn for next time. Speaking of next time, I am looking forward to seeing you at my next video.